Hi everyone, I'm Rosie and welcome to Vox Yoga. Today's practice is a Yin Yoga practice for tight shoulders. So hopefully this will help to release any excess tension and just help you to relax a little bit as well. In Yin Yoga, we hold the postures for a little bit longer to allow us to get deeper into the stretch. So the main things to remember when you do this practice are don't forget to breathe and also take whichever version of the posture works for you. Do not push yourself in this stretch. So it can be nice to have some blocks, blanket, cushion handy, just to help support you if you need it in the posture. So it can also be nice once you are settled in the pose to maybe add some gentle humming, just to remind yourself to breathe and also just to connect to your body, your voice a little bit more, which will ultimately help you to relax. So let's get started. We're going to be on the mat for most of this practice, so make sure you've got a comfortable place to work in. We'll just start seated with some gentle movement of the neck. So just starts by nodding your head really gently and shake the head. Great, then start to just draw figure of eights with the nose. Just going slowly, make these as big or as small as you need to. And reverse the direction. Bring it back to center and we'll just get the spine moving a little bit before we hold these postures. So bring the hands to the knees. And again, we're just going to draw circles. So coming forward here, we'll be arching the back a little bit and then coming back to round. So ground through the sit bones and just feel that your whole spine is getting some movement here. And reverse the direction. Last one. Bring it back to center and we'll find tabletop hands and knees. So set yourself up with your shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, and we'll come to thread the needle. So grounding through the left hand here, pick up your right hand and thread your right arm under the left. Now bring your right shoulder down to the mat, right ear down to the mat, and if this is too much, again, bringing a pillow or a blanket can feel great here. You can leave the left hand here, or option to extend it out in front of you, or you can bring it behind you to the right hip flexor for a bind, but no, we're going to be here for a couple of minutes. So find whatever option feels best for you, wherever you feel the most supported, and just breathe. If your left hand is extended out in front of you or behind you in the bind, bring it back to the side of your face so it will be under your shoulder. Press through the fingertips to bring the right arm out, released, and come back to tabletop. Right hand, both hands, wrists under the shoulders. And we'll go on the other side, pressing through the right fingertips, the right palm. Thread the left arm under the right. Bring the left ear down to the mat or a blanket or block. Just ensure that palm is facing up. And again, option to extend the right arm out in front or come to the bind, and it might feel completely different on this side. Again, get yourself set up in the posture and then just breathe. If the right arm's extended or behind you, bring it back to under the shoulder. Press through the right hand to bring the left hand back to tabletop. Take a few breaths here, and if it feels good, just have a little bit of movement, maybe moving through some cat-cows or just drawing some circles. Just organically what feels right here. Great, then bring your forearms down onto the mat and then come to lie down. So we're starting this one in Sphinx Pose, but we're not staying here. So we're almost feeling like we're going to give ourselves a hug here. So walk the left arm forward a touch so that again you can thread the right arm under the left. Then swing your left arm over to the right. So essentially your elbows are crossed in front of your heart. Have the palms facing up here and feel like you are lifting the chest. So you're broad across the upper back. We won't be here as long, but come to the breath. And remember, your neck is an extension of your spine. So you're not lifting and extending or rounding and flexing too much. Release. And we'll slowly come out of this. First of all, bringing the left arm back to our Sphinx, and then the right arm. And then release the arms, elbows out to the side. Bring the forehead down to the mat.
For a few breaths here, option to interlace the hands gently at the tailbone behind the back, just to counteract the posture. Great, now bring your arms out to right angles, cactus arms at the side. If you've got more space, you can extend them all the way out into a T here. So ground through the right arm, the right palm here, and then start to roll onto the right side. So start by bringing your right ear to the mat, and then start to roll onto your right side body. Now you'll know how far you can go. So just when you start to feel that opening across the right pec, the chest, you know you've gone far enough then. Now you can bend the knees so that they're stacked here. Your left hand can extend here, or it can come behind you for a bind. Your fingers, maybe your knuckles, fingertips will just be resting on the mat behind you. This might be enough for staying here for a minute or two, but if you want even more, you've got the option to take that upper leg, the left leg, bend the left knee, and bring the toes, ball of the foot, or the sole of the foot to the floor behind you. So take whichever option works best for you, and then breathe. And to release, if the left hand is not back where it was, bring your left arm back to your cactus arms, your T arms. Straightening the legs again to roll onto the front. And we'll go on the other side. So planting through the left palm, the left arm. Bring the left ear to the mat, and then rolling onto the left side body. Bending the knees, stacking the legs. Stay here, or bring the right arm behind you. An option to lift that right upper leg and bring the toes or the sole of the foot onto the mat behind you, only if that works for your body. Breathe here. And to release, bring the right arm back to your cactus or T, extending the legs, rolling onto the front. And then options here. First of all, bring the hands under your shoulders, and then you can either come to tabletop, child's pose, or you can extend the legs and take a downward facing dog. Just have something to counteract those postures and add a little bit of movement. Maybe drawing some circles in tabletop, bending and straightening the legs in down dog. But whatever you do, do it mindfully, connecting to the breath. And we'll all meet in tabletop
Then toes together, knees apart. Sit the hips back on the heels, child's pose. Bring the forehead down to the mat or a blanket, a block. Now the arms will be extended forward here. And then you've got an option to increase this stretch and add a tricep stretch here. So keeping the elbows where they are, bring the palms together in prayer. You can then start to lift the hands so the thumbs are coming towards the back of your neck. Feel like the hips are moving towards the heels, even if they don't reach. Again, you could put a blanket under your hips here. And breathe. And release the arms, pressing through the palms to lift yourself back to tabletop. Great, then sit back on the heels, come to our final posture, reclined cobblers or butterfly. So it can be nice to have 2 blocks to hand here to place under the knees, but it is completely up to you. So coming to sit on the sit bones. Feet together, feet flat on the floor, knees bent, coming to lie on the back. Then bring the soles of the feet together so the knees can fall to the sides. And again, you might feel really free in the hips here. You can just let them hang, or you can support them with blocks, books. So get your lower body set up, make sure you feel length through the spine, make sure your lower back isn't arching, just feels nice and neutral for you. And then bring the arms overhead, bend the elbows here, and again, either bring them to cactus or bring the palms together, just resting them above the head, the crown of the head. Just ensure your shoulders aren't creeping up towards the ears. Make sure you can feel your shoulder blades on the mat, drawing down, grounding to the floor. Wherever you are, just come back to the breath. Just feel a sense of release and breathe here. Start to deepen the inhale and exhale. Then bring your arms back to the side of your body. If If you're using blocks or bricks, just remove them and bring the knees back together, soles of the feet back on the mat. Then roll onto your side and slowly and mindfully press yourself back up to seated. Find a comfortable seated position that feels good for you. Shut the eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Bring the hands to rest in the lap. And just check in with how your body is feeling right now. How your breath is feeling. And how your mind is feeling. Bring your hands to prayer at the heart. Drop the chin to the chest. And thank yourself for taking the time to do this practice. When you're ready, breathe the eyes open. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope you've enjoyed it and I hope you feel a nice sense of release now. Let me know what you thought and don't forget to hit subscribe for more content and practices. I hope to see you again soon and have a great day.